And welcome to another episode of Hiroyuki Terada, Diaries of a Master Sushi Chef. Hiro, how are you?
Good evening.
Good
Now time is a good evening.
And good afternoon, almost.
Almost always good afternoon.
Yes. We got such a great video today, Hiro. We have been waiting to put this up because we have been waiting to get the right knives. So many people have been asking, what knives do you use? And it's no lie, you were using another brand for many, many years. And this brand came up and now you've switched over. And there's a lot of reasons for this, but let's talk about that first. The name of this new knife company is Minonokuni. And what it is basically it's a father and son team that makes these knives in Japan. Like everybody knows, the knives in Japan are made by craftsmen. But what happened is the larger companies now, as one of the companies you have been using, they basically just stamp out the stainless steel. And a lot of times they're not as high on quality control. They're still very, very good, but it's different than when you have someone who starts with a knife and finishes at the very, very end. So you have a few knives here. We're going to talk about each and every one of them, but one thing I want to talk about the steel on these knives is that there's three levels. The first level is called the ume. It's basically a steel for apprentices. You have one called the take, and it's a white steel for journeymen, they call it. And then the one that you're using now, it's called the Matsu, which is it's a highest grade of blue level steel. And the differences between the steel is that it's got more tungsten and even chrome in it. That's the one that you're using now. And a lot of people may ask, well, what's a point? Why are you using carbon steel? And the reason why is because it can actually hold the edge much sharper. It takes a little bit longer to work on. So I don't know, when you sharpen your knives, it probably took you a little bit longer than it was when you sharpen your stainless steel. But the grain of the steel is much, much tighter. And so that's a whole difference between using this steel and others. So again, this is a big step for you. A lot of you have been asking what kind of knives it is. So we're going to show you which knives you're actually using. And we got this from our supplier, Knife Merchant. David from Knife Merchant over there is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Japanese knives. And we're going to show you a video of our trip there back in June when we had got these knives originally. So take a look at this video. Some really special treat for everyone to see. This is of course our host and the owner. This is David from Knife Merchant. A lot of you guys saw him in our last year's video. This gentleman is a walking encyclopedia of knives. He can tell you anything you want to know, and maybe more than you want to know. But if you have any questions, do contact him at david@knifemerchant.com, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, excellent. And the reason why we're so fortunate to be here today is that Hiro's been looking for a really unique and special knife. A lot of you have been asking what knife he's been using. He's been testing out some knives that's been sampled to him. We want David to talk about these knives and then the knife maker and just tell us kind of an insight on what's happening here.
Well, what we're trying to do here is resurrect the craftsman that is actually a dying tradition in Japan. A lot of the younger guys are not continuing in the father's footsteps of making knives. And so we have contracted with individual craftsmen. We have a father and son team making one line out of Sakai. We have another group making a number 1 white and a third group making the blue steel knives. We have a fourth knife line that's coming. It's going to be hammered Damascus that are not yet available. But the idea here is to support the individual craftsmen that would otherwise not have a market for their products. And we are marketing them under the name called Minonokuni. This is an old name of a prefecture or state in Japan that no longer exists. But it's a large area that is basically centered in Seki City, and it encompasses all of the areas in which these gentlemen are making the knives. So that's the way we're going about it, so that we have a brand name that we can put on the knives, although these are individual craftsman pieces. Of the knife types that we have, ume would be the lower end of the white steel, your number 2 white. This is a knife with a traditional hoe wood handle, plastic ferrule, and the 2 types of steel that have been laminated together. One of the things that we're very happy with on these manufacturers is that these are dead flat grinds. That's a very important process in a traditional Japanese knife. A traditional Japanese knife is designed so it is a single bevel. It's very easy to resharpen. You would simply lay this piece, which is called the shinogi line, down flat onto the sharpening stone. And you rub it till it's sharp. The edge will curl over a little bit to the back side, and you can just lay it dead flat on the back side and sharpen it. If you see where it's shiny right along the spine and along the edge and a little bit of a tip of the knife, Those are the only parts that have made contact with the sharpening stone. The rest of it is concaved out so that you can make sure when you are sharpening the backside that it touches the stone all the way along the edge. So they're very easy knives to resharpen. And the idea behind traditional Japanese food is that you're doing very seasonal dishes, whatever is fresh, and you're not trying to change the flavor of the original fish and vegetables, fruits. You want to be able to cleave through these cells very cleanly and have just a nice little rainbow effect left behind where all the oils are intact. And that is best accomplished with a traditional Japanese knife. They are sent to us in the United States without a finished edge on it. The reason being they don't want the knife to become dulled in the process of shipping. And also there's a little bit of a tradition where they are the masters of making a knife, but you are the master at using a knife. So it's a little bit insulting if they put the finished edge on the knife for you. So it is expected when you get these knives that you finish them out with the 3,000, 6,000 grit sharpening stone to bring out the true sharpness. Now that, I understand that everybody may not want to do the finished sharpening on their own, and that's a service that we will have available. When you purchase a knife, we'll just ask, do you want finished sharpening, yes or no? And we'll be happy to add that service on to the knife. The other knives that are in the range, when you go from the white steels to the blue steels, there's a number 2 steel and number 1 white steel. There are 3 grades of blue steel. What you're really getting is a different degree of hardness on them, so a different life expectancy on the knife. And the makers will tend to give you hints at the quality of the knife. If you look at the number 2 white, this one right here has a clear unfinished hoe wood handle. When you get into the next series of knives, there's a little bit of oiled lacquer on that. And also the ferrule changes from plastic to buffalo horn. Now they both look just flat black, but if you turn them up like this, you'll see that on plastic there's a very high shine right on the edge there. And when you get to buffalo horn, it is impossible to get that really truly shiny because you're basically cutting through matted hair. These are horns from a Cape water buffalo. The blue steel then has an octagonal shape handle. And also it looks really pretty where they folded the Hagane and the Shigane, the 2 different types of steel together. On a traditional one is just kind of rolled over. On the blue steel, it forms a very, very pretty pattern there, that sawtooth. Now, blue steel is generally designed for professionals. Because they're designed to be used every day, you would look at a blue steel knife and say, okay, that's a knife that's going to last you 8 to 12 years. Number 1 white steel, maybe 5 to 8 years, and the number 2 white, going from 2 to 5 years. So it's really just a degree of the hardness of the knife. However, we're talking about a knife that's used hard every day and finished sharpened every single night. And the home use, the lower end or the ume series of these knives is probably going to last you a lifetime. And the price point of those is very good. On the smaller Yanagis, they should be coming in at $100 to $125. We're still playing around with the yen to dollar ratio and exactly what our landed cost is going to be. This was the first round of production for these gentlemen, and so they're still kind of working to determine their food costs, if you will, or the cost of steel and production and shipping. But as we grow, I expect those prices to actually decrease a little bit and stabilize. So I think that for Chef Hiro, you are interested in the blue steel, correct?
Yes.
How's it feel in your hand, Hiro?
I could very much just
Like the octagon? Yeah. Kind of like the, oof.
And when we finish these things out, then we will just be finishing it out on a 6,000 and 8,000 grit stone, and they're ready to go. We're trying to be as true to Minonokuni as we can. They actually have a mission statement in which they put together, trying to really educate the U.S. public, saying, you know, these knives are designed to be sharpened. They were pretty horrified to learn that when knives are received in the United States, a lot of times they're just washed and put to use, and they're saying, oh my God, you're going to be losing oils in the entire presentation. The idea behind Japanese cuisine, which is to have the umami, the natural flavors of the food, really present in the finished dish. And you know, they believe that's best occurred starting with the knife and how you slice them, then of course how you present them, and then seasonality of the produce and the species of fish you buy, use, and cook whatever is available at that time, produce them on colorful seasonal dishes, and you know, finish it off with some green tea for an overall nice experience. You feel good when you have completed a traditional Japanese meal, and we're trying to help them in that endeavor by bringing these knives and supporting the local craftsmen. What is happening is there is a big push for Japanese knives. These guys are going to work for a larger company, and the younger guys really don't see the entire finished product. I was discussing earlier products we have with a very expensive long takobiki knife. It sells for $800. It was a very well-made piece, except at the very last step, the manufacturer went to put their stamp on it. The last guy who does it puts it on top of a post like this, hammers it with a stamp, and he twisted the knife. And then they put it in a box and they sell it. So it's important that these not be done by piecework, by a person who knows this job and a person knows that job, but by a person who can encompass the entire project and knows when he's looking at the final product to say, yes, that's dead flat. One of the things that all of these guys do that we're insisting on is the knife goes onto a flat metal table and they try and shine light underneath, and if there's any warpage or any variance in the grind, then that knife is rejected. So we're very excited at how flat the grinds are on these knives, particularly for the price point. A knife of this caliber under any other brand name would be selling for 2 and 3 times as much.
Yes.
So I think this is just an excellent product, and we're excited to be able to bring it to you. And hopefully you'll hear more from us in September as Hiro and I get to Japan and visit at the manufacturer's shops.
That would be amazing. Thank you so much for this information, David. As always, it's a pleasure. Here I can't wait to get back and try these products. Well, not me, but you, of course. Right?
You get to try the food.
I'll try the food. I'll give it the taste test. All right, well, here it is again, everyone. You'll be seeing a lot of these in action very, very shortly. Thank you again.
Thank you.
See you. We want to thank again David from Knife Merchant. He's been our biggest supporter from day one. Again, if you want these knives, you should contact David directly by email. We'll leave it in the description box. And again, these knives are really phenomenal compared to what you've used in the past, Hiro. And not only are they amazing quality, harder steel, but also it's something that I think is really important to the tradition, the future tradition and generations for knife making. And that's for, you know, not just big manufacturers, again, to stamp out stainless steel, but for people to work with it. And we'll show you a video of that coming up a little bit later. But here, let's show our viewers out there the knives that you're using right now.
Okay. This knife is actually I'm already using right now. So it's not really shining right now.
Let's take a look at that.
I just used this morning, so.
Right, we've been using this already for a while. Again,
And then
it's not as bright stainless. It's not even stainless, it's a carbon steel. That's why it's like this. So the difference of this knife is that you can't just leave it while it's wet and put it away. It needs to be wiped down.
right.
This is a true chef's knife. Okay, so this is used already. What else do we have here? This is the same knife?
This is same size, exactly same size. but
Okay.
Different.
Oh, different steel, okay.
Different steel.
So this one you can have the same exact knife, similar steel, but it's more of the, more for a beginner if you want to say. Not, we shouldn't call you a beginner because just the fact that you want to get into the culinary arts, you're already halfway in the door. Okay, so this is probably the more affordable one. And then you have here,
And this is Deba knife.
okay. Let's take a look at that. Okay, I'm going to show these knives in a better angle. This is the Deba knife, quite heavy, really, really high quality. This is the Ume quality steel, which is for, if you want to say, the beginner apprentices. This is also the same steel, the Uma, in it's like an 8-inch blade. Pretty much the size you've been using, right, Hiro? And this is the one you're currently using. This is the one with carbon steel called the Matsu.
Matsu.
Difference is the handle, you can take a look there. This is also high-grade blued steel. Just a quality. Hiro, can you flip that one over? Just want to show the back side. here. Can't really tell that much, but
Yeah. Today I didn't make it sharp. Make it shining yet. So.
you know what knife is
Just a
really?
little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little dull, but that's because it's carbon steel. Okay. All right, Hiro. So let's unbox this
For this one,
vegetable knife. What's this called again?
Usuba. I think Usuba is inside, right?
Okay. Yes.
Let's see. Usuba knife.
You excited, Hiro? This is like Christmas early for you.
Yeah, Christmas. Let's see.
And anything else? No other goodies?
That's it. Okay.
Okay. So this looks like the Matsu also, right? Matsu quality
It's,
steel?
Matsu quality, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, Matsu quality. Here. Take.
Okay. Oh, the take.
Take.
Okay. So that's the journeyman one. Okay, so this is like the middle of the grade. Oh, this is beautiful. Let's take a look at that. That's how they come, brand new. Yeah, here, can you turn it around? Gorgeous knife. Really, really nice. And it comes with its own sheath, huh? Is that bamboo or is that just paper? Oh, that's just paper, huh?
This one is a paper.
Okay. Here's another look at this. Usuba by Minonokuni. Okay, amazing. So, I'm going to show everyone here a video that is how these craftsmen do the work, Hiro. These are the people that make the knives for you. And actually, David told me an interesting story. They expect you to go visit them next year because they really want to get to know you. They've been watching some of your videos as well, and they said they can't wait to see you start using these full time, which you have already. And I think just with these quality knives here, it's gonna be super, super great. And I'm excited to see you use them as well. And here, how's the knife been working out for you?
For this one?
Yes.
So far it's good.
Is it pretty much? I mean, you know, it's harder to sharpen because it's carbon steel.
Little bit different than which I used to using.
Right.
Other ones actually stainless steel.
Stainless steel, right.
How they call it, the both side. But this is only one side.
Okay. Single bevel edge.
Yeah, single. So a little bit different way to you have to
Right.
sharpen.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
If you guys have any questions, please contact David from Knife Merchant. His contact information, I guess we'll link it down below, and it's also on the screen. He, again, is a wealth of knowledge on Japanese knives. He can get you to the knife that you want. And again, we thank you so much for watching. If you get these knives, let us know. We're excited for you to try them. Thank you so much.